everybody. As Maria mentioned, my name is Alina Samuelian. I'm here with my mom, Caroline. She's my cheerleader right there in the back. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. As always, Maria, Lions is like our second family. Maria has always given us the opportunity to present our wonderful cause, and as she mentioned, has been supporting our cause since 2017, both her and Emin along with Lions. We appreciate you both from the bottom of our hearts, and many of you have been part of our cause as well as have been part of our gala, so this is definitely something familiar to you and near and dear. So, but I'm sure there's plenty of new people that I can't wait to share our cause with. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, Fly was founded in 2012 by my mom and I. The main mission of Fly is to assist children and single mothers that live in severe measures of poverty. We do have established chapters in 3 different countries at the moment, in Syria, Lebanon, and in Armenia, but a majority of our work since 2016 has been concentrated in Armenia. Primary focus is single mothers and children that live in metal containers. If anyone is not familiar with what that is, they're called domiks or danaks, that were left from the 1988 earthquake in Armenia. Yeah, mind-boggling that it's been over 35 years, but thousands of families still do live in these metal containers, lacking every basic necessity that you can imagine, from water to gas, heat, to ventilation, to, this is the bathroom that they use outside, a hole in the ground outside, to rats and bugs living in the house, to, I like to call it a hell on earth because that's all I can think of, and certainly is not a home for any child to live in. So, of course there's a lot of poverty that exists in Armenia, but we choose to take just the rock bottom level that basically single mothers living on their own, barely a piece of bread to give to their kids on the daily, abandoned by the fathers, unfortunately, all have fled to Russia in efforts to find work and neglect the family and never end up coming back, unfortunately. And these mothers are pretty much on the verge of suicide. So we take these, rock bottom cases and we work with them step by step in efforts to give them the wings to fly over, and hence the name Fly. Till this day, there's about 2,500 of these containers that are just in Gyumri alone. The regions that we do concentrate in are Gyumri, Vanazor, and Spidak, the Shirak and Lori regions, because these are the regions that have the highest poverty and highest unemployment rate and the number of containers to this day. My mom and I personally visit these families multiple times a year, listen to their heartbreaking stories. The only times that we do help families that fathers are present is if they're disabled. Because any other time that we help families that fathers are present, they're always better off than single mother households, of course, so we always strive to get to those families first. A lot of disabled kids as well that are under our wings. A lot of these mothers unfortunately had very unhealthy pregnancies, which resulted in disabled kids. And of course, these kids grew up very, very malnourished. And these moms, you guys, I'm 29 years old, she's a 21-year-old mom. They're really, really young. Unfortunately never got an education and left alone to fend for their children and basically struggle to survive. I mean, that's all these kids have seen, unfortunately. That's where we come in, and basically how it works is we interview these families. Our vetting process is very, very strict. So just an example, if we were to interview like 50 families, we might pick like 10. All of them need the help urgently, of course, but we always strive to pick the families that are not only in the worst possible state, but families that are ready and willing and able to stand up and make changes. Because we firmly believe in not giving the fish, but teaching them how to fish. We believe that that's the best way to help someone. That's the best way to change their life, through education and through employment. But before you get there, you have to make sure that they're fed, that they're clothed, that they have all their basic necessities met. So that's the first part of the process. We start with humanitarian aid. We provide food, clothing, shoes, hygiene products, household items, basically everything that you can imagine that you need on a day-to-day to feel like martiskas, to feel like you're a human being. We start there, and then we focus on long-term solutions, education, job training, certification, as you can see, and employment, and connecting these women with jobs in the city to get them sustained and working independently and taking care of their families on their own. Something that we do regularly is empowerment seminars. This is vital in our work because we all know the impact that mental health has on our success and our long-term well-being. And you can imagine the trauma that these women and these children have faced. And until you heal from the inside out, until you have helped them start from a clean slate, they're not going to be able to make changes happen, right? You can just imagine if these women aren't given the chance to forget the domestic violence, because a lot of these women, unfortunately, are battered women, and they've faced years and years of domestic violence. It makes you sick to your stomach, but be it that trauma, be it, you know, all the poverty that they've seen. Until you heal from the inside out, you won't be able to make changes happen. So we have regular empowerment seminars, and that gives them the chance to find out what it is that they're passionate about, what it is that they want to do, what it is that they want to work that life never gave them the chance to. And we give them that chance to get educated, to get certified, and to start working and making an income on their own. And we've seen so many success stories with many, many mothers that have had the courage to stand up and stand beside their families and work. And the way that Fly operates, everyone, we don't donate any money. Every penny of donations we collect directly goes to purchasing and delivering all the necessities that our families need, because we believe that's the best way to help is by actually providing the supplies. Typically, the humanitarian aid is enough to last them about 6 months, which is great because it gives the mothers the chance to not worry about taking care of their children's basic needs and focus on saving money and focus on, okay, what am I going to learn? What am I going to do to take care of my kids, and no longer depend on a man, no longer depend on the government for any help, but actually take care of things by myself. So that's the gist of how we do things. And typically, I always say all of the items that you guys see are of urgent need, obviously, from the food to the clothes to everything that they need, because you can imagine they eat plain bread, plain potatoes, dry pasta, all things that fill the stomach, but they're not enough to give you proper nutrition. So a lot of these children, you'll see like 10, 15-year-olds, they're like very small, skin and bones, they don't develop properly. So of course, all this is very important and much needed, but we always say more than the items that you provide to these kids, it's the hope, it's the love, it's the care. That's what their soul is in most need of, because you can imagine a lot of these kids, these moms and these kids we hold, guys, they haven't showered in weeks, so these, talk about, hygiene, lice, all of that, but at that moment where you're there standing by them, you don't think about any of that, and the love and the hope and the care you give them moves mountains, right? And a lot of these families, unfortunately, are neglected and kind of shunned from society too. No one really wants to look at them, no one really wants to be around them, so that's when we're here with our group from here, from our team in Armenia. The bishop that stands by us from Damascus. We're like from all over the world, we come and we do our part. In the winter as well, you guys, firewood, crucial, because these families don't have anything to burn other than trash, shoes, old clothes, plastic bottles, and you can imagine the harmful smell that emits in their container that is toxic to these kids' health, especially. So in the winters especially, we provide large supplies of firewood so they can burn and stay warm, because I don't know if you guys have ever been in a container in the summer, it's like an oven, you can't breathe in there. In the winter, it is freezing, like even colder than outside, to the point that you'll breathe and you'll see your breath come out in the container. And just overall, being there with the kids, playing with them, spending time with them. A lot of these kids don't even know what it is to have like a dollar ball. Their families have never been able to afford it. You can imagine, if these kids don't have food on the table, their families are not going to be affording toys, unfortunately. And just given the opportunity to live a carefree childhood as all of us have. Which brings me to the most important thing that Maria mentioned that we are concentrated on, is building a social educational center right now in Gyumri, Armenia. Our team is working their hardest day in and day out to build this center, and it is currently in construction. These are old pictures. You guys are going to see what it looks like currently. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Gyumri, or do we have any Gyumretis here? Awesome. My people. Gyumri is my second home, so anytime I hear anyone speak with a Gyumreti accent or hear they're from there, it really warms my heart. So we are currently building this center. If you guys know where the Charles Aznavour statue is, right on that street. Huge project, 3-story, 18,000 square foot center. And the main purpose, you guys, it's not going to be a boarding school, or it's not going to be like a regular school. It's going to be an after school program to welcome all of these kids. First off, to give them the chance to eat a warm meal, bathe, since they don't have those facilities at home. This is what it looks like right now, by the way. And give them a chance to receive all the tutoring and all the help they need to succeed through school. Because you can imagine, put yourself in the place of one of these children. If you go to school on an empty stomach, not bathed, your clothes are too small, you have holes in your shoes, you're not going to be able to focus on school. And on top of that, these kids face bullying. A lot of kids could be cruel, unfortunately, and aren't raised well. And these kids face so much. So what ends up happening is these kids, they drop out of school, They work on the streets, washing a car, working in a market to bring a few thousand dirham to their mom to help them, and then the cycle of poverty perpetuates itself. So the main purpose of the center to stop that from its roots and to make sure that we give our children the chance to receive the extracurricular activities that they need to grow, be it music, be it art, be it all kinds of things. These kids are so talented, you guys. You guys will sit with them and be mind-boggled. You'll hear an 8-year-old speak and he'll sound like a 50-year-old man. That's how mature they are, and unfortunately because they haven't seen a childhood, so they grew up really quickly. So to give them programs like dance, art, music, all kinds of things, as well as mental health therapy, which actually one of the people here, Ani, her husband and her brother-in-law sponsored the therapy room in the center. And that's one of the most beautiful things about the center. All these rooms that you guys see are actually available to sponsorship. As Maria mentioned, her and Emin, on behalf of Lions, sponsored the accounting room. We have 27 rooms, and 12 of them have been sponsored. So anyone here or anyone that you know might be interested, rooms are available for sponsorship. It's a beautiful way to leave your legacy in this landmark that's going to continue transforming lives for generations to come. And one of the most important things, other than the program for the kids, is for the moms, right? So to continue doing the work that we've been doing with them for 8 years, but under our roof. So give them the chance to learn talents like sewing, like cooking, cosmetology, all kinds of things. Get them certified, trained, certified, and ready to work and depend on themselves and their own strengths to build a bright future for them and their kids. So this is what we're up to right now. Center has come a long way. We're expecting about summer or fall of this coming year for it to be opened and open its doors to welcoming thousands and thousands of mothers and kids and continue doing the work that we've been doing. Anyone that wishes to be part of this cause, you guys, our doors are always open for any new volunteers to be part of our Fly family. It's really, really something fulfilling, rewarding, and you really feel a sense of belonging. Every person that's in our team, including Maria, is like family. And it'll really, really warm your heart and give you a different sense of peace that you're doing something profound for the homeland. As Maria mentioned, we are having our 12th annual gala. I passed it out to everybody. December 1st, Sunday at Pelagio. It's our 12th year this year. I think a lot of you guys have been present with us. Whoever hasn't, it's basically a formal dinner reception. We have entertainment, and it gives everyone the chance to get to know Fly on a deep personal level and celebrate all of our accomplishments together. So I highly encourage everyone to join us. It really is a touching night, and I promise you, it's a night that you don't want to miss, and it's a night that you will leave from feeling very fulfilled, and you will fall asleep that night with a different sense of peace in your heart. So I always welcome everyone to be part of it. And one more thing that I want to mention, we also have someone else that sponsored a room here, which is Silva. She sponsored the crafts classroom in the center. Thank you so much, Silva, to you and your family. God bless everyone. Talk about what I love most. So thank you.